been 10 years now since I threw my first ball. And I still feel like I've never made the decision if I want it to be my sport or not. It happened, and it just was so natural for me. I just fell into it, and it was just very quickly, but steadily make your way up and up and up.
From Canada, Alison Levine.
I didn't have that moment where I was like, okay, I gotta sit down and make the decision. Do I want to aim to be a Paralympian?
Alison, who is often accompanied by her beloved service dog Gia, has a degenerative neuromuscular disorder that causes weakness and spasticity in her muscles. Like many para-athletes, the sport she plays today was not the first sport she tried.
I had to stop my sports pretty much because my body wouldn't let me do them anymore. Horseback riding got a little bit too dangerous of no longer being able to support myself on the horse. So it was only logical that I would find another one. So it was, I think I was still a part-time wheelchair user, but I was like, okay, so let's find an actual wheelchair sport. I switched to wheelchair rugby. So I really got a few good months of being, one of the bigs on the team and being able to score goals and really get out there and make a difference. And then I'd still be playing wheelchair rugby to this day if I could, because I love it. I love it so much. But it would be, with my neck weakness, it would be quite dangerous if I were to take one of those hits that, is what wheelchair rugby is all about. Boccia found me, and the rest is history.
History is also what Alison made when in 2019 she became the top-ranked boccia player in the world. The sport, which has subsequently been separated into men's and women's categories, was a mixed-gendered competition then, and Alison was the first woman to gain #1 status. That was something people like teammate and mentor Marco Despaltro marveled at.
I've always been a little bit frustrated that Alison doesn't have major sponsors. Because, man, who in the world, when you have men and women competing against each other, you have a woman that's going to be #1 in the world. So for me, that was the moment she achieved that. I thought that was one of the greatest moments in sports history.
I wasn't winning everything all the time. In a competition, I would lose games, I would lose ends. But I think it was my overall consistency that made me get that high in the rankings. And to me, I realized that it was more important to me to be that well-rounded athlete and be able to make it to world #1 proved that I was kind of that type of athlete. And the fact that I got to do it and have a whole bunch of guys below me was just awesome. As a woman and a female athlete in a then mixed sport, to be able to say that I was the first ever woman and the last ever woman to be world #1 in a mixed sport will, some people say, oh, it doesn't matter, but for me, it always will. It'll always matter.
Yeah!
Alison is categorized as a BC4 athlete. Her muscular disorder didn't really start presenting until adolescence. On the heels of what her mother, Roberta Fried Levine, describes as a vibrant childhood.
Sort of my tornado kid, in the respect that very passionate, very emotional. Her emotions were always on her sleeve, worn out there, and you knew them, you felt them when she was home in her safe place.
I don't remember much because I think I blocked a bunch of it out. It wasn't easy. When your body, it's you. You trust your body, and then it's just failing you. It makes you go insane a little bit. What is happening? Why is it happening? Is it something I'm doing wrong? What is this?
Still, for all the questions about what the future might look like, there was no doubt sport would play a role.
Alison took the helm on her life and always had. The relationship with sports and sports into her life was something that she decided she was going to do, was something that she decided was going to be a part of her life. That's it, that's all. And she was going to find a way to do sports with this evolution that was going on in her body. And from the time that she was 12, 13 years old, and she started to have problems, she decided she wanted to find something.
Everyone agrees wheelchair rugby was Alison's original passion. As her mom says, she just loved the smash of it. But as her condition continued to progress, her sporting life was going to inevitably evolve too. Thankfully for all involved, Alison crossed paths with Marco, and later on, her coach, Cesar Nicolai.
When I was at a rugby tournament and I was scouting people and I looked at Alison, maybe not, because I didn't think she'd class in because she was a rugby player. But then we got into the particulars of boccia, and then she showed me what she could do, or more importantly, what she couldn't do. And then my attention was 1,000% on Alison, and for the next couple of months, I was just like in her corner. You're going to be great. You're going to make the provincial team. You're going to make the national team. Someday, if you really stick with it, you're going to be #1 in the world. So for me at that time, I was more like Marco, the coach, and really looking for potential.
67 meters, and with the last ball, we do a slice on. You shoot the ball in one slice.
As a coach, you should try to open the door, but like the coach, the athletes should be able to go in when the door is open. And that takes a little time for Alison, but now after many years, the door is full open and she's coming in the place and it's all over the table. So it's really good for myself as a coach because I can really walk deeply on every little piece, and that's what makes her really good and what is really important for an athlete at the international level, because it's all these little details can help you to make some podium and win some medals and things like that.
Having people like Marco and Cesar on her side has been a huge boost for Alison. And, of course, getting that taste of the Rio Games in 2016 was another level of inspiration entirely.
To see that many people with disabilities in one place and to be the normal person for once, you know, like everyone is disabled. It's surreal is all I can say. It's like a different world at the Paralympics, and you do so much training and preparation to think of it, okay, it's just another competition, because you don't want to make it this huge big thing. But the reality is, it's a huge big thing. It's the Paralympic Games. That's the pinnacle of your sport, and you want to win a medal there.
Boccia is a game of strategy, concentration, and execution. And no amount of instruction from a pro like Alison was going to save me when we hit the court. Though she did try.
Now, first thing before you throw, look at your positioning. Where are you facing to throw?
Kind of like that corner.
Yeah, and if are you gonna be going for a placement on the side or an opening?
I'm kind of thinking to the left of your ball.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at like, oh, I'll just finesse it like this, but like,
Yeah.
you guys, okay.
I mean, you can to get the point back. The only issue is if you get the point back like right on the side, then I'm just gonna push my blue up. What we would do in this situation is we'd open it up and then place on the deck.
So I get my enforcer out?
Yeah.
All right. I'm historically bad at this shot.
It's okay, I missed mine too, so.
Okay, we're gonna go with the finesse.
You're very good at the finesse, I have to say.
When Alison is on the court for real, her mom acts as her sports assistant. It's a vitally important role, and while there are a few more layers to the relationship when it's a parent-child team, Roberta is the person who can ultimately help facilitate the best performance for Alison.
It's a complicated relationship, one that has taken many years to get to the point that it is. Is it perfect? No. Will it ever be perfect? Probably not, because it can't be perfect when there is that intertwined relationship of mother-daughter. No matter how much we try to separate it, she's still my mom, and at the end of the day, she's gonna do things that make me go, Mom. But in my mind, my mom is the person that makes me my most comfortable. And when I am at my most comfortable, that's when I perform and feel my best. It's as simple as that.
Being her mother can be advantageous. I just have to look at her for a split second. I look in her eyes and I can see the moment that the energy droops. I can see the moment that she may look like she's okay on the outside, but she may not be okay on the inside. Things like that, that's a little bit more the advantage of being the mom, and how knowing her so well improves on our relationship as sport assistant and athlete. And then there's the other side of things where sometimes I'm a little too much mom.
Though Alison has a decorated resume, dotted with strong international showings, she's yet to medal in 2 appearances at the Paralympics. 1 year out from Paris 2024, it's impossible for both mother and daughter not to be thinking about that podium possibility.
She has more confidence in herself as an athlete. I see it. I see the trajectory of how things have gone, how they're going. We'll always find a way to get through it, get over it, and come out the other side. And I think if she just keeps doing what she's doing and just keeps being her, that she will get to where she is supposed to be.
I can kind of picture it. It's scary to think about it not happening as much as it is scary to think of it happening, because that's kind of like the acme, the apex. Where do you go from there? But my job right now is one competition at a time, one game at a time, one end at a time, all the way down to one ball at a time.